Hello, everyone. Today we're going to cover chapter 10. And chapter 10 covers Excel. Now, I'm not sure how many of you all are familiar with Excel, but what we want to do is just give you a brief overview, talk about how you can use Excel and apply them to engineering, whether you're using it as a calculator to solve problems or you're using it to analyze data, or reduce engineering data. So first I'm going to share my screen. And just go over a little bit of what we want to cover. And so when you're looking at Excel, this is chapter 10, some things we want to do with Excel, how you can use it. You can use it to create an Excel worksheet that implements relative, absolute, and mixed cell addressing. And we're going to talk about those in a bit. But the first thing I want to do is bring up Excel. All right, now there are slides on this, and I will post them as usual. All right, so I want to go over, those of you that are not familiar with Excel, I want to just go over some things about Excel that you may not be familiar with. Those of you that are familiar with Excel, well, this will just be a review for you. So first things first, when you open up Excel, the first thing you'll notice, or maybe not, but you'll notice probably this section. This particular section is, it's called a toolbar. This is your toolbar, right? You have all of your buttons for creating graphs, formatting the table, cells, inserting, deleting rows, deleting cells, formatting your rows, formatting your cells, things of that nature. Merging one cell, or merging multiple cells into one cell, or merging rows into one row. All right, this is your toolbar. All right, so this guy right here, that is your title bar. All right, that's the title bar. So like you have multiple Excel sheets, once you save it, it'll basically, your title of this sheet will go there. So like if you're reducing data for a lab, you would say, oh, lab one, da 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 da. That'll be the title of this sheet. This guy, these particular tabs here, this is your menu bar. All right, this is your menu bar. So if I click inside of here, this right here, this cell, that's my active cell. All right. And then what else we got here? All right, so this guy, this is your formula bar. Now, this is two things. So if I wanted to say X equals 1 plus 2, right? Notice in my formula bar, I wrote it here, but it's being defined here. All right. Like again, if I do X equals 1 plus 2, I wrote it here, but it's defined here. But the way you write that actually is you would go, you would label X here, and then possibly you would put a couple of numbers on there, Y here, and then 3 there, and then if your formula was Y is equal to X plus 3, and when you plug it in, you would go equal like, so if you were solving for this, right? But you already know what y is. But so say we didn't know what y was, and I'm getting ahead of myself by now. It's okay, getting ahead of myself. But to solve for this formula, you would go equal, all right, equal, and then you would go 1 plus 3, and that would be your y, right? So you would always start your formula. Now, but what I was trying to say was, I can type the formula in the active cell, or I can type it in the formula bar, all right? Either way, I could type it. And when I was taught Excel, they always taught me to type it in the formula bar, right? You click on your active cell, and then you type it in the formula bar, all right? That's why I was taught to use it. But honestly, you could just type that formula into that active cell, and it'll accomplish the same thing. All right, so other things. So this, like, these letters here, they represent your column headers, and these numbers here represent your row headers. And if you go down here, this is your worksheet tab, and then this thing down here at the bottom, that is your status bar. All right, that is your status bar. So a worksheet, this is your worksheet. And just as I was just going over this little formula, real quick and easy, it is made up of columns, which these are your columns, and it's made up of rows. Very powerful tool, very, very powerful. Now, you can do a variation of things in Excel. Like I said, you can use it to solve formulas. And let's go back to the book. Use it to solve formulas, right? You can use it to, like I said, create graphs. But when you're looking at solving formulas, like we was just explaining, the things you need to know, there's relative, there's absolute, and there's mixed cell addressing. All right, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So here are your slides. So when you're looking at cell terminology, your formula cell. So notice this is A, which is your column, 3 is your row, plus C, column, 5 row, adds the contents of cells A3 and C5. All right. So if you're looking at a relative addressing, target cell is always in the same relative position to the formula cell, no matter where the formula is copied. Target cell is always in the same relative position to the formula cell, no matter where the formula is copied. What does that mean exactly? Well, let's discuss it. Let's show you. That's not what I want to show you. So this is my target cell. Remember, I had X, and then I had Y, right? And I said Y is equal to 1. And I said X is equal to 1, sorry. And Y is equal to X plus 3, right? Now, say I had a variation of ones, variable, like 1 is a variable, so it's multiple, right? And Y is dependent upon X, obviously. So if I wanted to do relative, right? If I wanted to do relative, I would go equal X plus 3. But this is what I want to do. I want to hold my cell, this cell. And see, that's why it wouldn't let me do it. But anyways, I'll come up here. And then I'll put a dollar sign in. Because I put a dollar sign in front of the A because I want to hold that sale constant. Because remember what it said? It says relative addressing is the target cell is always in the same relative position to the formula cell, no matter where the formula is copied. So where I've copied this formula, I'm always going to reference this cell, that column right there. I hold my column constant. So then if I go enter, right, I'm holding this column constant because I put the dollar sign, meaning I'm holding A constant. I'm always going to be in A. So if I scroll down, I want you to see something. This is going to change. It increased with this number because I held it constant. But what if I do this? It's 4. It's 4, right? What? Let me show you something else. If I copy this formula, if I copy it here, right? I got A2 plus 3. All right. I got A2 plus 3. So then I copy it over. It's still 4. So I held this constant. I held it constant here, right? A2, I held that cell. I held the column constant there. It's relative. It's relative to this column only, right? It's not even relative to this column. So if I were to drag it down this way, it's still going to be 4. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. It's going to duplicate the same thing. It's going to duplicate this same column here because what's happening is it's changing the A, but it's changing, the row, but it's leaving the column the same. So each row will get inputted into this for this X here, because I'm saying, so in other words, it'll be A2 plus 3, A3 plus 3, A4 plus 3, A5 plus 3, A6 plus 3, and so on and so on and so on, until you get all the way down to row 18. All right. But if I take it across, it's going to be A2 plus 3, A2 plus 3, A2 plus 3, A2 plus 3. It won't change. All right. Now that's relative. So if I make it relative to the row, now I'm holding my row constant, right? I'm gonna hold this row constant, but I will allow the columns to change now. All right. So then if I go this way, now it's 7. And if I go this way, it's 7 again. Why? Because that's 4. That's 4. But check it. If I go again, it's 7. Again, 3. Now it's 3. Why is it 3? Because there was no number. There was no number here. It finally basically, because it started here, right? It was A2. So we got the A, B, C, D. And when it gets to E, there's no number in E, right? So then if I scroll it to F, there's no number in F. So it's going to be 3. So basically from this point on, it's going to be 3 because there's no number in 3. And then there's the other one. Now, what if I did a dollar sign front of the F and the row. What is that? Now it is absolute. It's absolute. Absolute addressing target cell is always the same formula cell, no matter where the formula is copied. Useful for constants or for parameters in a formula that you may wish to change later. It is always going to be the same. It's going to reference that same formula cell always. That's absolute. So what I did was I'm going to hold A2 or F2, and I'm going to hold row 2 in column F constant, no matter where it gets copied. So I'm going to hold, what did I say? Row 2 in column F constant. So there's nothing in F. So then if I refer to that particular constant, then it's just going to be 30, right? Because actually it's going to be 0. No, it'll be 3 because F2 has nothing in it. It's blank, right? So it'll just be 3 every time. All right. So you just to this is you're going to put a $ before the F. And you're going to put a $ before the 2. In other words, you're going to put a $ before your column and a $ before your row. And that will hold whatever number is in that cell constant. And that's absolute addressing. And the other one is mixed, right? Mixed addressing. Mixed addressing. Mixed addressing is a target cell is always in the same row or column, but the other column or row maintains the same relative position to the formula cell, right? And so that's more or less like what I was doing earlier, where I may have a formula that has the row constant, and I may have a formula that may have the column constant, and that's just mixed addressing. Obviously, you're going to have that. You can't have that in the same formula. You have to have it in multiple formulas, and you can use multiple formulas that may be able to, that may address where your row is changing, right? And then you may use that $ to address where your column is changing. It depends on what's your variable and what's your constant or what's your independent, right? So that's when you would change where you would put your $. All right. So what I want to do is, I want to do an example. Let me find one.